All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to the chair, Randy here. Thank you so much. It's Friday. It's Friday. We are back here. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are back here, guys. We are back here. Share the video. Share the video. We are back here, guys. Share the video, guys. After 2 days break, we are back here again. I'm eating Japanese peanuts. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here. This is Jay Randy here. I'm back here tonight. Tonight, I got a lot of stuff to unpack for you. Yes, we're going to unpack a lot of stuff today. And today, I have a very interesting audio. I'm not going to play the video. I have the video, but I'm not going to let you see the video. But you're going to listen to the audio. So going down the list here, I'm going to be talking about Councillor Vani Shemo and the impact that he had on my life. Yes, very embarrassing one too. And then from that, the closure of the ban they put on the Samuel Kayando Stadium. We are going to look at some standard of work. Yes, not the crap people talking about around here. We're going to look at some standard of how things should be done. All right. So it's going to be all about education. It's going to be all about procedures, work instruction. That's what I have for you guys there. All right. So share the video. I'm enjoying some music here, guys. The weekend was great, and I thank God for that, man. And I hope yours went well too. Yeah. Share the video, guys. Please share the video. This is Jay Randy here. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I see my cross here. Thank you so much for joining me. Blood pressure medication. We go check your cabinet. Oh, I see my cross here. All right, so let me share the video now, guys. Share the video, guys. Turn the other phone on. Then I'm gonna go right here. And this is the one I'm going to monitor here. All right. Share the video, gentlemen. Let me find my stuff here. All right. I see the number coming up now. Yeah, the number is coming up. The number is coming up. I see my brother Eric Darcy is here. Let me say hi to my brother Eric Darcy. Welcome to the show, my man. I mean, all kind of group in here. Which one they call 231? Some of the guys can just add me to their group. I don't even know who they are. Anyway, maybe they're getting to like the show. So I mean, you can't refuse people when they add you to the group. Make sure that you keep them because maybe they see some importance in you, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them a lot. I appreciate them a lot. All right, I see my man Adama Fofana is here. Okay, I see all my guys and coming back here. Yes, every doctor said he's here. Yes. All right, guys. So I think I'm ready for the show. So you want to hear my part aside, right? The stadium closed down. You're not here, everybody part aside. So it is my time now to come here now to tell you guys about my own opinion, my professional opinion to the issue regarding the soccer stadium. Let me say this to you guys. The white man, the black man, the Latino man, and whatever color of man you're looking for, they all work with what we call standard of work. They all work with rules and regulation. The only people on the face of the planet, unfortunately, that don't work with any rules, regulation, work instruction, standard of work is nobody else. And I will say again, nobody else but Liberians. Many Liberians, whether they're outside the country, inside of the country, particularly inside of the country, we don't believe in following any rules. We have no standard of work, how things should be done. We have no guidelines that guide us on how we should do things. We wouldn't do things by what the Liberian man call Bahat. Whatever we see, we go ahead and we'll go ahead and do it with all no standard, no guide, nothing. My point here is we do things with no rules. Yes, we don't have rules, we don't have guidelines on how we do things. And that is why for 174 years now, we are not being able to achieve anything. Again, my role on the show, my role on Facebook and on YouTube is to provide the necessary education to the young generation. The young generation between the age of 5 to 15, they are my target. Why it is true that many of them cannot be on Facebook. Every time I come here to teach, I'm leaving a message for them. I'm also leaving a message for those of you who believe in what I do here. Because what I do here are things that I learned in the past, that are things that I'm learning today, and are things that you will validate in time to come. The issue of the National Soccer Stadium in Liberia, it is closed because we had no program. See, let me tell you, two things happening in most of the institutions we have in Liberia. Whether it is administratively, operation-wise, there are two things. One, we don't have administration in place that provide the guidelines on how things should be done. Those guidelines include the planning phase, the implementation phase, the monitoring phase, and the evaluation phase. We don't have those things in our institution. Don't take my word for it. Just look at your country. How long your country been in existence? Just look at it. Don't blame me. Look at your country. 174 years, from the first county to the last county to the entire country. That's your country. That's how it is. So as a Liberian myself, I'm taking myself out of that thing and trying to tell you to look over it from outside because it's all fucked up. That's why it is. The second thing we lack in our country is preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance. The reason you have PM that we call preventive maintenance is to make sure that when you get something for the first time, it is new. That lifetime will be a combination of the first 5 to 10 years of the manufacturer parts. You have to utilize the manufacturer parts. But after certain years, you need to start to put in preventive measure. Measure that will look at the nuts and bolts of things, the wear and tear of things. We don't have that program in our country. We have educated people, we have popular people, and even into the generation, we still have the same people, and it's even growing and growing across the social media. But when you measure how our minds work with how we do things in our country, it means nothing to you. This show is not about entertainment. I'm not here to entertain you. I don't know handsome. I'm a very ugly guy. But what I have for you here is to enlighten your mind, to build your minds, so that when you meet other people across the continent of Africa and across the world, your conversation with them, this way you approach things, the way you discuss things, they will ask you where you from and not who you are. Because who you are is for people to say he's a celebrity. But where you from will define what individual you are. And that's what I'm here for. All right. Preventive maintenance. You want an example? You see all the sewage system, whether it's from the companies to the residential home and along the route of all this major street in Monrovia. The reason you see people gushing out of there, because when the thing was first installed, there were no maintenance plan put in place. Speaking about maintenance plans, how many times have you seen Liberians, most of them back home, going to hospital to have doctor check them? How many times? You see, when you're born and you're between the age of 0 to 15 years old, you are taken to the hospital by your parents because as you grow, the doctor got to check you so that your body. But when you reach a certain age, maybe around 10 to 15, your body is fully developing. Every part of your body, if you're a healthy person or a healthy child, your body is correct. But by the time you hit your early 40s, then the preventive maintenance of your body, that means you have to go to doctor to check your body, to do all the things. Liberian, especially men in Liberia, they don't go for medical checkup. The last time they go for medical checkup is when they're about to die. So you see, from maintaining our own body in Liberia to maintaining our institution, we don't have no standard of how things are done in our country. And that is why the life expectancy in our country is not up to 70 years old. Not many people live up to 70 years old. I'm stupid. I'm crazy. Yes, I'm stupid. I'm crazy. But if somebody close to you die, please don't blame it on witch because we don't have the things in place. All right. So that's it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Let me show you what I want to say here first. Okay. So let me see the people I have here. All right. So the first person I have on my show here this evening is this gentleman here, Vani Sherman. All right. Vani Sherman. This is one of the men that I am so disappointed in. Yes, Mr. Vani Sherman. Let me see what's going on here first. Vani Sherman. I'm so disappointed in this man they call Vani Sherman. You know why I'm disappointed in Vani Sherman? You see, many Liberians who came to this country and went abroad. Let me see whether I can hear myself here. All right. You see, all right. Many Liberians. Cool. I'm here. Cool. You see, many Liberians that came to this country and acquired the highest education, went back home and further destroyed the country. There are many Liberians, let me paraphrase that. There are many Liberians in the past that came to this country when you were little, when you were not born. They acquired better education, they went to good schools, and when they went back to Liberia, instead of helping the country up, they further trashed the country down into the swamp. One of them is this guy here, Vani Sherman. Yes, Vani Sherman. You see, I always tell young Liberians in the country, it is not the school you go to that make you who you are. It is the discipline, the code of conduct, the ethics that the school taught you will make you to be the person you are after you graduate and you leave the school and go back home. Bonnie Shemmel. Let me give you your full name here, all right? Because you see, one thing about America, you can't lie to the federal government. You can't lie to the American government. You cannot lie to the American government. Bonnie Shemmel, the full name is Harry Bani Botonami Shemmel. That's his full name right here. Let me try to make his picture small so you can see his name here. All right, let me do this here. So that's his full name right here. See that? Harry Vani Botonami Shemmel. That is his full name. Let me tell you the story about Vani Shemmel. All right? Vani Shemmel. My man, Tony, you back? John, are you back? Just tell me. Just say yes. All right? So if you back, we need to talk. I hope you took some photo. You got to share that photo with me, John. If you're here, welcome back. If you're still in Liberia, enjoy yourself. But I look forward to your answer coming up. All right? So, you said he's back. Yes, he's back. All right. So we should talk over the weekend, bro. We need to talk over the weekend, all right? We need to talk over the weekend so I can get, some fresh information from you. But thank you so much, man. You guys go to Liberia. Boom, you come back. For all it seems to be like we claiming Kilimanjaro. We don't have no feet. We don't have no hands. That's how difficult it is, all right? All right. So now that you are seeing Botonami Shemmel now, let me bring him back here and maybe put us side by side here. And okay, let me make it bigger here. All right. So this guy, Vani Shemmel, I said he did something very, very helpful to me. And I will tell you the story. And at the end of this story, it is up to you to tell whoever that you believe that look up to you as a role model. You have to commit yourself to that person. So Vani Shemmel was born in Grand Cape County. All right. He went to school there, came to Monrovia. After high school, went to Cottington and got his degree from Cottington. He came back and attended the University of Liberia and got his degree. Like every one of us, he came to the United States to pursue higher education. Mr. Shemmel was very, very lucky and went to one of the prestigious universities in the United States, Harvard School of Law, and got his degree in law. He had reached the top of his goal and the goal of anyone, right? And you imagine he didn't stay here to say, I want to stay in America to practice my law. He was not compelled to stay here. So in 1983, I was just in the elementary school, and my school was on 11th Street. The story I just told you up to this point, I didn't know about that story that time. I got to know about it just 2 days ago because I read about it. You see, the U.S. State Department here, this is the document that banned not just Vani Shemmel and froze his access in America. There are many of them, 187 of them. Vani Shemmel in 1983 returned to Liberia. And folks, the reason I'm telling you guys this thing are some of the reasons why when I tell you guys that I'm not going back to Liberia, I want you to understand most of the things I can be telling you guys that I'm not going to Liberia to either stay there or work there because the country at this time is rotten. Yes. And I always say to myself, Liberia will not change me. I will try to do the best to educate Liberians. And I see the tension back there. It ruined a lot of good people with good character. And this guy is one of them. Corruption consumed him and destroyed him. So let's continue with the story here because we got more things to unpack tonight. So Botonami Shemmel left from here in 1983, returned to Liberia with his wife and two sons. How do I know these things? It was by an instant that I partnered with him. And you know how that happened? I attended an elementary school, an elementary school on 12th Street called Esther Bacon. Yes. Let me say hi to my man Joseph here. So on 11th Street in 1983, I was in the elementary school. And the classroom I was in, if you look over the balcony of the building, because you know back in the day, the Congo people used to rent their school building to the public school. So the school I was in, they used to call it Esther Bacon. It was on 11th Street. So when I looked over the balcony of the school, guess who I saw that time? This guy they call Vani Botonamishema. I saw him. He had just came from America, very fresh. A wife and children, and the two sons were going to Gigi Rawa. And every time I went to school, I would always look over the window and just look like this and see Vani Shema. Guess what? I started admiring him because I learned that he had returned from America with his children. And as a guy in elementary school, I fell in love with that dream. I fell in love with that dream. And you know, some of you guys may not listen to what I'm telling you guys, but that one of the reason I'm not going back to that country to live. Yes, because the generation today, even the high school certificate, let me tell you, high school certificate will not make Liberians to compete in today's reality. You know, 75 years ago, high school certificate was better in Liberia to compete. But in the generation today, where the baby in a man's stomach in America want to get some high level of experience and higher education because they know when their time comes, they will compete in Liberia. Even the high school certificate, because we got a lot of uneducated people in the country, and you think by getting high school certificate, it will help you, you're wasting your time. So just capture that one. So I saw Botonami Shema all the time. And I like, wow, someday I want to go to America. And I want to be able to go there and return to Liberia to contribute my quota. But all the imagination I have of Botonami Shema, I never interacted with him. I never did anything. But the Leicester, the pathway he took, I copied that and made it part of my journey. And throughout his time before 1989, he became lawyer for Firestone. And then the war came, they came back to America. And then fast forward into the future, Fanny Sherman became senator of Grand County. The saddest thing here is this, and I'm going to read it for you guys. This is from the U.S. Department of the Treasury Sanction Corruption Actor in Africa and Asia. So it's a corruption in Liberia. This is coming from the United States Department of Treasury. This is not any kind of fumafu paper. This is a public record within the United States system. So let me read part of it. It says Harry Vani Botonami Shemo, and in parentheses the Japo Shemo. So that means we mention here as Shemo going forward. Now a permanent lawyer, Liberian senator, and chairman of the Liberian Senate Judiciary Committee, offered bribes. He offered bribes to multiple judges associated with his trial for a 2010 bribery scheme. This is the man who went to Harvard University. This is the man who sat down in Harvard University and went to school and became a lawyer. But he turned around and started to do the wrong thing. You see, when I tell you that it is not the school you go to in America or in Europe that make you, it is the self-discipline. Now today, Budunami Shimo cannot come to America. He is a disgrace to Harvard University. You think Harvard will be proud to put this thing on any of their bulletin board, whether it's online or in their school hall, to put this thing there, that a guy who graduated from us went to Liberia, instead of changing the country there, he also helped to worsen things in the country. Budunami Shimo. Don't take my word for it. I always tell people, don't judge people for who they are, but learn to understand them. And I want you to understand why I'm coming out with this story against Budunami Shimo. I'm not judging Budunami Shimo. I want you to understand. I'm trying to understand why Budunami Shimo left from here, went to Liberia with a Harvard degree. And today he made the worst list in America, that his grandchildren that live here will not be proud to read the country. Why? This is the man who, growing up, I was in the elementary school when he came from America. And I saw him, I was like, geez, one day I hope to be like this guy. And today, hear me sitting in America here. Instead of me saying good things about Budunami Shimo now, I'm here saying the worst thing that he did. My friend, my point here is, there are some people who are like Budunami Shimo right now in America here. They're waiting for their time to go down to Liberia, and they're going to fuck things up. If you're in our country, between the age of 18 to 35, you better get your ass out of that country, because they will fuck your future up, and you will not believe it. They did it to you. They are here right now. I'm telling you, the country doesn't have no standard of operation. They got no principle or guidelines. Why you think today Budunami Shimo is listed here, but in Liberia it's not listed there? Everything Budunami Shimo did in Liberia, nobody found him guilty. He was guilty free, even though he did some bad things. But there's two sides to the story here. We'll come back with it, Budunami Shimo 2. But this time, Budunami will be the assistant main barman, and Joseph Boka will be the main barman. Because when Budunami was doing all this thing, Joseph Boka was not only vice president, he was president of the Senate and sat himself over there and allowed this thing to happen. Let me say this to you. Joseph Boka is guilty. He's politically corrupt. He is guilty by association. He may not have been the one taking bribe, but he was part of the process. He saw it. He managed the traffic. But we're not talking about Boka yet. That country fucked up. That place is fucked up. Let me tell you guys. The people who running away from listening to me, they got their part of plan. You see, when a man is preaching the gospel and asking people to come to ask them to come to the altar for forgiveness, when you see people running away, they are still pleasing things in the world. They want to still be sinning, so they're running away. And that's how many of you see these guys that come on a different show, they want to hear things that will glorify their ambition to go out there and want to continue doing the same thing they're doing. So there are some of them here. They're waiting to go to Liberia to fuck their future up. But guess what? I don't live in Liberia anymore. Eddie then tried to mess our future up. Many of us escape from that. And I'm glad I'm not in that country. All I can do right now is to come here all the time and provide my little advice to the young generation. Not many of the people who don't believe in what I say. Because a man who is in Liberia 35 years old, never handle a paycheck, don't even have a wallet. Don't even have a wallet to put money in. And not to say, those are even in America here, who's supposed to help to educate their brother back home. They don't even give a damn. I tell you that we got problems all over. Every corner of Liberia you go, we got problems. I mean, everywhere in the world you go, where you see Liberia, we got problems. Liberians in the country, they will not tell you. They will not tell you why they support Joe Boka. But all they will tell you, Joe Boka is a right man. In the same chair, in the same office of mine, I have another Vani Saki coming to me and telling me that Joe, we are not correct. Joe, we are not corrupt. But Vani is yet to tell me why he support the Ellen that he did not let, but Boka work for Ellen, and then Boca saw everything that Ellen did, and he was there until the Ellen house went down. But Vanni Saki is coming to tell you that Boca is the man. And you want to believe that. But I want you to ask Vanni one question. What do you want from Boca that Boca did not give or did not say during the election time? We will talk about that another time. So that's the story about Vanni Botunamishema. Came here, went to the best schools in America. All you were able to live up to is to bribe judges to protect him. There are more details to this story that I cannot read for you. But if you need that document, again, just inbox me. I will send you the link and you can look at it. So this guy, he shouldn't be your role model. And when you're out there in Liberia looking for a role model, please be very careful. Because the many people in the country here that you're taking to be your hero, it's just a matter of time. When they get on that playing field, they will not think for a second that you play a role and you're looking up to them to be a good person. And that who Botunamishema is. I'm very ashamed of him. This is a man who left from here. Should have been fighting for a better cause to make that country better. Instead of helping the people, he harmed the people. This is not something that Liberian found him guilty. It's something where he came to this country and learned. The very country he came to. I won't be surprised that some of the people who work at the Treasury Department in America perhaps were classmates of him. Maybe they all graduated that same year, or some of them graduated that same year, and to see their classmate in corruption. It just brought one thing up, that you can take the black man from anywhere and educate him. But when he go back to his ways or to his comfort zone, he will carry out the same thing. And that's what Vanni Shema did today. It's a disgrace. He is a disgrace. I see no relevance in Vanni Shema. I see no relevance. He failed the dream. The Liberian young generation who say, I want to go to America, learn, and come back. And when I come back, I want to contribute. The man came here and learned and went back to the country called Liberia. Instead of helping the people, he began to harm them, bribe, just to make himself rich. That's what he did. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. All right? All right. Yasia, I will do the best I can to send that to you. Let me say hi to Serena Bati. I think this Sarita Bati 1 or 2 times. You sent message to me. I haven't responded. And let me say this to many Liberians, both male and female. I'm not a popular guy. If you look in the Liberian Facebook popularity or popular index on Facebook, my name is not listed there. I'm not a popular guy. The reason I'm not popular among Liberians, because I speak the truth. I speak the truth about what we are doing wrong, and I will come and say it here. You see the guy they call Benjamin Senvi? He's a fraudster. This man took $45,000 from the government of Liberia, not under George Weah, and lied to the people that he was going to open a company and ran away with that money. Today he sit on Facebook, and thousands of Liberians sit down there and watch him. Tell me, in America you live here, who will commit such a fraud and will still be on CNN, will still be on Fox News, will even still be working at the place you are? Oh, because it is not happening, or it did not happen in the women land, so it's not an issue to you. And that's what separates me from many of you guys that listen to that man. I don't listen to that kind of person. No. It's like you say you believe in Jesus Christ, but you're worshiping the devil. You think Jesus Christ will feel proud of that? No. And that's what I'm trying to convey here. So to Sarita Bati, whether it's a female or male, I will try to respond to you, but I wanted to determine who you are, because people come in, people send requests, things like that. I would rather have 10 or 5 people on my Facebook page that I know, that I can pick up the phone and call, that I can text, that I can face time on Facebook and have a conversation, than to have thousands of people. No, I was not born to be popular. I was born to share knowledge. That's what I believe God brought me here. I was born to share knowledge. And people that I share knowledge with, I would like to know them. Every professor, every teacher class you sat in, you and the teacher became acquainted. Even if you're on Facebook, you're now on Zoom conducting classes, you will get to see these faces of the student or hear their voices because the length of time you will spend together. Celebrity are people who go to the stadium to perform. They don't know everybody. I'm not a celebrity on Facebook. I see myself as a teacher on Facebook, and I must know all the people who associated myself. When Jesus Christ was teaching, he knew all his disciples. If that is not a perfect example, I will try to tell you that just see that as the example. So anyone who sends requests to me, I have to study it to get to know. Now, let me progress, all right? So, Vani Sherman, thank you so much, and we shall see again. Now, I am here today. I'm going to be very, very strong on this guy. I'm going to be very strong on this guy today. I know he may not like it, but I'm going to take a professional approach. I'm not going to be personal with him. I'm just going to tell you what he did. And I'm going to relate that in a professional way to you. But before I get to him, I want to play something very, very important. All right? All right. You see this other guy here? This other guy they call Zilga Wilson. Let me get me a picture bigger. You see, when I tell people that I campaign for George Weah, and I'm proud to say yes, after 2 elections, George Weah ran in 2005, he lost. The same people who supported him attempted to campaign for him in 2011, they lost. 2017, when I came on board to campaign for George Weah won the election. And my contribution played a very significant role because of how I presented Mr. Weah. But today, the quality that we sold to the Liberian people of Mr. Weah, and speaking about Mr. Weah, let me just take Mr. Wilson from here and bring in the president I'm talking about here. All right, so I campaigned heavily for Mr. Weah, and today people still label me as a sedition who campaigned for George Weah. They still hold me accountable for George Weah action, which I believe they need to really get their act together. But the reason I'm bringing this discussion up here is because if you look underneath here, it's coming very soon. You will soon see it. It says, "Welcome to Table Talk." That's the title of my show here. And then it says, President Weah needs to create a priority matrix table to solve his administration challenges. At the moment, things are misguided and misplaced. And that is why I'm here to tell you guys today. That is a professional approach to things. Yes. All right. So this president here, I campaigned for him. And I told him that if he does the right thing, I will come here in prison. And if he does something wrong, I will also come here in prison. Today, it's not going to be something good that he did. He did something wrong. And I ain't give a damn because I'm not going to Liberia anytime soon. Yes, I'm not going to Liberia anytime soon. Matter of fact, let me just tell you guys, I already purchased a great site for myself in America here. So when I die, I'll be buried here. So that tell you that I'm not going back home because many of you guys, Liberians in America, in Europe, in Africa, y'all don't like to hear the truth. And because I live with some form of truth, I'm not perfect. But if I see things that need to be said the right way, I say it the right way. And many of you guys don't believe it. I mean, you don't believe in those things. So, and I'm not going to be, because majority of people are doing it, I should do it. No. I want to be remembered on Facebook as one of the few Liberians who stood for the truth. I'm not here to look after George Weah, whether he does right or does wrong. I don't see the wrong, I see the right. No. What I see is being Liberia centric. The centricity of a Liberian means we should look for things that are right because it will help us grow better. If you left from Africa and came to the white man land and your life had changed over time because that white man land you live in, they believe in the rule of law. They are not above the law, but they work below the law to represent you so that you can be better. In many Liberians community and among many Liberians, it is not so. We are more politically connected than being Liberia centric. Liberia centric means following what is right and doing what is right. We don't have those things. We are more divided into political groups that we don't tend to look at the law. And I'm not in that group. I don't live in that neighborhood. I live in America here, but I don't live in the Liberia America. That's what I want you to understand today. You see the good thing about Facebook? Facebook now is showing every Liberian now when you see some of us tomorrow and they say, my man, can you work with Randy? Oh, my man, I won't work with that man. That man, he left to say things straight. Wow, my man, I see that man all the time. The way he can talk on Facebook, I know that man. Or do you want to work with Ben Senvi? Yeah. Oh, Ben Senvi, that man too for the fantasy now. He cool, he can't. So I say, I want to man for the fantasy now. I'll go and take it. But now we're Randy. Thank God for Facebook because we are now showing you our character. And from there, you can determine who you want and who you don't want. And that's why you see today, many citizens, they are afraid to bring me to come close to them because I tell them the truth. So depending on which side you're on, that's how the country will be defined. Yes. So you see, Mr. Weah, after 3 years now going on 4, it's not getting things right because he got people who are close to him that are misleading him and misguiding him. You see, in 2018, when Mr. Weah won the election, I told Mr. Weah, I said, Mr. Weah, I want you to bring all your ministers them and let them give you their 3 to 5 year vision plan. This is what I wrote way back. Mr. Youth and Minister, where is your strategic plan? I want to see your strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years. Your mission statement, your vision, followed by 6 proposed strategic priorities area. They never did it. They never did it. The reason they were supposed to commit themselves to those things is to be able to laser focus on what will be good for their role as minister and director. They never did it. So today, we hear that FIFA is banning the stadium. If you are Minister of Youth and Sport, where your focus is supposed to be, isn't the soccer place in your country supposed to be part of your focus? Why are you developing strategic area? Why are you coming there and say, I'm an added value asset? If in 1980 or during the 80s, when Dole built a stadium and they have social concrete sitting down here, should we live with concrete again for the next 174 years? No. There is something called process improvement. If your parents sat down on the concrete here, when you are in age now, in 2017, you shouldn't be sitting down on the concrete here. The diaper that we wore when we were growing up, I remember when I was growing up, it was not really Pampers. They used to put cloth diaper on us. But today, our children we born today, they are not wearing cloth diaper anymore. They are wearing regular Pampers. One time use, you put it in the trash. But in Liberia, they want you to wear the same thing your parent wore, your great-great-parent wore. They want you to wear it. Zioga Wilson is one of the most incompetent ministers, and I will tell you guys here. Very, very incompetent. And because George Weah too, the people he brought around him, they are very, very incompetent. They don't know how things work. And because the lack of what I would describe as priority, and I will show you guys this. You see here, when you run decision, you do what we call the priority matrix. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a matrix that you use. The first 2 here is called important. The one down is not important. Focus. You say what? First quadrant here, do it. So if you study math, the guy was first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So we are applying mathematics now into decision-making process now. All right? So when you are in here, in the first quadrant here, it means do it. Whatever on your list that need to be done, do it. Focus on these tasks. Then, if it's not that urgent, you schedule it, decide to do it at another time. Or if it's urgent, but you cannot do it, you dedicate it to somebody. If it's not important, you get it out of there. That's what the CDC government is suffering from today. They don't have administrators. So they got people jumping here and there, here and there. So now you got a little into action now. So I am about to play for you a conversation on Spoon Talk. I'm not a fan of Spoon Talk, but because I saw something happening on Spoon Talk, I'm not going to play the video for you guys. I'm not going to show the picture to you guys, or you guys are going to listen to the video. I mean the audio, and then I'm going to bring back this guy here, and as the audio is playing, we're going to analyze it. I'm not here to show you guys any audio, I mean video from Spoon TV. Those guys are a bunch of corrupt guys. They support corrupt people. And I'm not going to bring them on my show here. No, I'll be doing a personal violation to some of the things that I believe in. But it doesn't have to show you the audio so that you can understand. And I'll be able to lament on what I want to explain to you guys. But I cannot show them on my show here. No, I can't show them. Because I have the American value. When you're a corrupt person, I don't bring you around too much. I don't encourage you. I want them to say in their lifetime that we brought thousands of people on our show, but there's one guy they call Jay Randy who always believed that we're corrupt people. And that one guy will play on their conscience for a very long time. Anytime Mr. Simbi sit down, he can count all the people. I got the people. But when it comes to Randy, you say, no. Why Randy really don't like my character? Because he's corrupt. He's harming the people. But you're going to hear a voice here. I cannot control that. But that's not the focus of what we're going to say here, all right? So let me progress here, all right? Yes. I'm not difficult to deal with, folks. But I just go by guiding principle. That's who I am. Yes. If I left from Liberia and recognize that Liberia was not a better place and came here, I want to live by that example. I don't want to be someone who just want to say things or do things. No. All right? So let's come to the video here. It's going to start playing now. All right? So they're listening.
To their leaders for a hygienic political social.
All right, so we're going to So this video, these guys, on the first segment of their show, they started to talk about the closure or the ban that FIFA or CAF have put on the soccer field. Just so you know, let me take my friend from here. All right. Just so you know, let me see something here. I want to show you guys something here. I don't know where I will find it here. If I'm not lucky to find it, that's fine. Oh, I got it here. Just so you know, I also used to play soccer too. So not only I'm coming to discuss this issue as a professional person, I also play soccer too. That's me right here. Right here. That's me right here. Most of the guys in here, somebody has sedition today, and we don't get along. So just so you know, I used to play soccer before. I started playing soccer from Liberia. Even in America, I did play soccer. I understand the rules, and that's all I know. Soccer. All right? So, these guys, all right? So let's bring the minister back here. So these guys, they were discussing, all right? And we'll bring the other guy here too. So these guys were discussing about the ban that they put on the soccer stadium. All right? Who do you think, when the football stadium in Liberia is banned, who you think is supposed to be the one to come and talk? Is it the finance minister or the youth and sport minister? I want to see answer. Is it the finance minister or the youth and sport minister? These two gentlemen you see to my right hand side here, right here. These two gentlemen here. One is responsible for the money in the country. The other is responsible for making sure our football stadium be a better place, right? So when you hear a conversation anywhere that this football stadium in our country, our only football stadium, has been banned, who do you go to? Which door do you knock on? Do you knock on the finance minister office door, or you go knock on the minister of youth and sports? Think about that answer. But in the meantime, let me drop both of them and let's go to the audio and listen to the audio. All right, let's listen to the audio. Again, I'm not going to play that video for you guys here. You will listen to the audio. And as you listen to the audio, we'll be explaining, all right? I had no ethical value in these guys. And one of the reasons is this. Benjamin Senvi took $45,000 of the Liberian people money. Which one of you guys right now? For me, just today, I received a letter in the mail and online telling me, sir, you will begin paying your student loan come January. And I said, yes, sir. I didn't take the loan and ran away from it. No. So if I live in this culture where you are obligated to do the right thing, when the right things are done for you, you should vice versa do the right thing. And I see people doing the wrong thing, even though they are Liberian like myself, I will not support that idea. Why? Because that money he borrowed is supposed to be used for other people, not just for himself. And because God with that kind of character sit on a platform, I cannot show him on my show and I cannot go on their show to have any conversation. No. And whoever run that show that is supporting that kind of behavior, he too is in some type of the same deal. You know, there's a pastor that told me if fornication is in the church, if people are loving to each other in the church, check the head. Maybe the head support it. And I say concept is what I'm using with you guys. If you see a man who borrowed $45,000 from the government and it's all the document and he admitted to that and even lied to the people, but he come and sit on the platform and want to discuss issue, it's not for me. He's not for me. He's not my guy. He's not my guy. He may be your guy, but he's not my guy. Because think about somebody who robbed you of your money that you've been working for in this country. And that same person sit in that same bank and smile with you all the time, but not willing to get your money back. How will you feel? You feel hurt, right? And that's how I want you to understand when I say I don't believe in you guys. So let's listen to the audio here. All right, let's listen to the audio here. So they are going to be talking about the soccer stadium here. So let's listen to it here.
Well, we're back again today and promise to be another exciting, interactive day. But Rufus, let's talk about Monrovia and Liberia as a whole. What's going on in our country? I know the president returned from Lomé, Togo today. I listened to Information Minister Lejawu Rennie speaking briefly to the president. Kev Hassan, you're not a member of CDC, so I won't link the CDC. We have the chairman of the
for the what they call the bucket seats or something. They gave some time on that, but they inspected the.
So this guy they call Kev Hassan. No disrespect to him. He used to appear on my show before. He told me a story how his father was in government. He came from Sierra Leone. His father got killed. But it's very, very, and surprising to me to see such a guy on a platform where thousands of Liberians listen to him. And nothing else he said was misguided information. I don't care how he speaks. I don't care about his education level. But the information, the way he analyzed things, even a third grade student in the country of Finland in Europe can better articulate issue more than him because he got no idea. And you are about to listen to some of the dumbest things that he ever said in regards to supporting George Weah. Because like the guy said, he said he's not a sedition, he only supports George Weah. So you see, there is one thing to support an individual and there's another thing to support an institution. So you see, if the guy says he's supporting George Weah and not an institution and people listen to him, the country fucked up. The country fucked up. Because the day George Weah leave office, then his part of time is done. So that means he doesn't care about legacy Weah administration. He only care about Weah. And Weah himself is not trying to say, look, my man, I play for AC Milan, the fan out with me. They were not behind me, but they were for the club. I played for Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. The fans that were for me, they were not technically for me. They are for the club, and some of them still there. But he's saying that he won it for George Weah. So since George Weah left the club from Europe, are those clubs dissolved? No, they still going here, right? Matter of fact, my favorite player, Ronaldinho, went there a few days and visited his countryman Neymar. PSG is still moving on. AC Milan is still moving on. So if Kevin Hassan come and tell you, oh, I went there for Weah, that is one of the destructive individual that you gotta listen to. And you need to put your brain on. Because he gave a damn about that country. All he care for is what he can say about George Weah and what he can get. That's it. And that one of the problems again that I don't watch those guys' shows. Not that I hate them, but their mindset. They are not Liberia centric. For a guy to come and tell us that we're supporting George Weah. So whatever George Weah does in that country, as long as he's supporting George Weah, he's not going to measure George Weah poor performance on the standard of how things should be done. He's not going to classify or criticize George Weah coming based on what guidelines is he making those things on. All he wants to do is to just support George Weah. And that's how the country is fucked up. So let's listen to him right now, right? Let's listen to him.
Field and all that. The field, as we saw, it was renovated and everything. The field looking good as compared to other fields around the world. We're seeing no staff playing in. The field looking well, very well. But they're saying they should take all the grass off and put new grass there. So that's one of the key things. You see, the field is not playable. You cannot play on that field, and we all know that you can actually play on that field.
So this guy, you take your time and go and listen to him. Has he ever told you what he does for a living? Whether he's a janitor, he grab the bucket, he grab the mop, put some soap inside and know how to mop the floor, or whether he's a clerk, he go and get stack of paper and tap it into the computer, whether he is a guy who work in the manufacturing assembly line, how to use the machine. Has he ever told you guys what he does for a living? I guess not, right? Now you listen to this guy, they call Kev Hassan. He's telling you that they don't know. See, when people talking and say they are called a analyst and start to use all the pronoun, they don't know, they say, that is not an informed person. They got no idea. Because when you want to discuss things, you make sure you get the subject and pinpoint the subject to what you're trying to explain. Who the they? Who the they? At least the acronym will make sense, whether it's FIFA or CAP. But they say, not only that, now he coming up and telling you, oh, the grass on the field, the grass this. Let me ask you the question. When you see a graveyard after decoration day in Liberia, you clean the grave, and you see how clean the grave is. Does that mean that he might be living in that grave, or just Carrington in there? So, Mr. Hassan is telling you that because he sees the grass on the field, it means that the field is okay to go. That's one of the least and low level analysis that I have ever seen in my lifetime before. Have you heard the word? Not all human beings are created equal. Have you seen the word? Not all things are created equal, even our fingers. So when you see a grass on a field, is that how you measure it? Because you see a grass, that mean the field is okay. Is that what sense it make? I know I'm getting on some of you guys skinny, but that's just who I am. And you got to accept me for who I am. Because we need people like me to be tough on Liberians in order for us to grow. You see the number of years we are wasted because we've been listening to people that don't really hit or hard to where it's supposed to be. And that's why the country fucked up like that. And there are many times when you go to Liberia, you want to start reading Morovia and you can't read back. But when you're in America, you can go to Jersey, you can go to the island and everywhere because the people challenge themselves. The man is telling you that, oh, the football field, even you go to Europe. What part of Europe? Every football governing body, whether it's in a particular country, community, and worldwide, they are governed by something called what? Let me show it to you guys here. All right. Let me show it to you guys here. That for me today is Friday, so I can talk from now to Judgment Day. All right. There's something in Liberia. I mean, in Europe. What you see here, FIFA Stadium, safety and security regulations. Remember what I told you guys? I challenge you guys to listen here. You call this clown here, because you guys listen here, the clown right here, and you ask him, can you show or can you read us out to LFA and show all the regulations? That's what will make our stadium up to standard. Because remember, I told you guys one time that when laws are made from the government side, it is incumbent upon the institution to create a regulation. Regulation is a rule, is a process, is a standard that you should follow, right? So, for example, when the government, and I will use the environment here, if the national legislature pass any law, like in America here, you got a Clean Act, all right, the Clean Air Law, but that law for air to breathe, it will be turned into what? Regulations. How that regulation come about? The institutions that are responsible will create or develop regulation. That's why you see in America here, before your child go to school, they go in the classroom and they take air sample. Why? Because when Congress in America passed the Clean Air Act, they want everywhere people live, the air should be clean. So why the true is a law, they will take that law and then they will change it into regulation. Regulation is the rule you play by. So when FIFA come out and say, yes, we need to have FIFA regulations, all right? We need to have FIFA regulation. It means that FIFA is going to develop a regulation, which is like the requirement, all right? The requirement here. See here? For every stadium, FIFA is saying we need safety and security regulations. What regulation? What rule do you have for cameras? What rule do you have for better shower? Everything that will be safe. And as far as security go, what do you have? We need the regulations. And every team, because it's what? Federation of International Football Association. Liberia is part of that. And I'm damn sure that Liberia received this regulation. But because we are a country, the way we do things in our country, we don't follow regulations. We don't follow no guidelines. We got nothing we can do in our country. And as soon as they league coming and go, we put a little ground on the feet, they grab all right. No, the women don't do things like that. The women will evaluate the quality of what it takes. So let's go back to the conversation here. You're getting the idea here, right? Let's go back to the conversation here. It's a very difficult thing. But again, folks, this is the tea water discussion. It's very hard for Labrador to absorb this kind of thing. I'm sorry, I can't be the guy who here to. I'm not here to entertain you guys. No, I'm not here to entertain you guys. I'm not an entertainer. And I'm not here to gossip about you guys because I'm not a gossiper. I'm gonna here to talk to my guys out here, my girls, for us to speak the hardcore truth. All right. So this is not politics. This is the real thing here. From January, you're in October. Few weeks from now, you'll be in November. You'll have talk politics. You'll listen to Marcos. You'll listen to Weah gossip. You'll listen to Toy gossip. Nothing changed in our country. Every time international team come, they give you a bad rating, bad scorecard. So you'll continue to be watching your show then on that side. That's fine. My guys and myself will come here and discuss things that make sense. And I believe many of them will say, you know what, Randy Red. You see my man Johnny. Johnny just went to Labrador a few times. He visited, he came right back. Because Johnny know that the environment he used to here, he cannot go back to Labrador to live over there. He will only go and just see small thing and come right back. Because the environment down there, no rules, he's not going to take any chances with his life. Because what? He know what it means. Political entertainment will not solve the problem in Liberia. Political gossip will not solve the problem in Liberia. It is the hardcore truth that we are discussing here will solve the problem in Liberia. Our country got no rules to operate on, no guidelines. So let's listen to these guys, your political entertainer. Then the reason I brought them here is because the finance minister came and was saying something. So let's listen to Mr. Hassan here again, right?
That's it. You know, but CAF, FIFA, they do play around with the things around. We have seen and during the Obama regime, that a lot of CAF, a lot of FIFA.
If this is the guy, somebody told me something. The person said, Randy, you let George Weah just play you like a fool. And I look down, I say, yes, you're right. George Weah play you like a fool. Did you just hear the man talking about soccer stadium grass not looking good? Next thing he going to George Weah and talking about George Weah did George. And that's a man who they say is on one of the popular Facebook page and talking about George Weah soccer stadium. The whole government is fucked up right now. The whole government is fucked up. I would be embarrassed if this guy can even stand in front of my house to take a picture. He got no idea of what he's seeing over there. And Sarita is saying, what is he saying? Be my guest. That's the same question I'm trying to answer. Yes. We really need change, yo. We need a change and we need it now. Because a guy like this, I can't even give a guy a chance to even write a paper to give to my daughter. Because he ain't work for them. Listen to here again.
Officials were arrested because of playing those games, and selling a World Cup to this country.
You see the stupid thing he talking over there, and sorry for my language here, and I don't want to be very emotional. Loretta Lynch, she was the Department of Justice after Eric Holder left. She took in charge because Sabletta and others were engaged into match fixing, and they decided to investigate. And it was through that thing that Musa Bedete also got busted. It was about match fixing, where they go and prep the match for it to be played in certain way. It got nothing to do with the stadium. And that's what the clown is talking about. Question for you. Has the man ever played any soccer before? I doubt it. Does he have any knowledge about how the game works? No. Does he understand the administrative? Because you see, football, let me show you some things here, all right? And we'll come back to that here, all right? One of the reasons why Labra is fucked up today, you see this thing here. When you develop regulations, and Sarita, please forgive me, let me take your son from here. When you take the FIFA regulation, all right, let's go back again. Let's go back here. Let me just work you through something here, all right? All right, so let's say FIFA come up with regulation, all right, we'll take this out. FIFA come up with regulation, say, okay, I need football stadium regulation, all right? We need safety regulation, we need security regulation. First thing you need to do as every country, they fool right here. This fool you see right here, all right? This fool right here, all right? He calls himself Minister of Sport. He understands that the football game need to address regulatory programs. So what he was supposed to do, the clown here, supposed to, with the immediate time he took office, the clown supposed to come out and say, look, George Weah, here is what I want to do for this role here, all right? So Mr. Weah, I have a plan, all right? So I understand the FIFA got regulations. I am going to come up with a 3 to 5 year plan. And my sixth area will be the football stadium. I want to make sure that the stadium be up to speed because part of my year to be in office is to develop a strategic priority areas. I will focus on the stadium, look at things on the stadium, and then for the next 6 years, we'll try to improve things that FIFA want. But how should I go about to do that, Mr. Weah? Mr. Weah doesn't know that, and he knew that. He would say, okay, Mr. Weah, yeah, one thing I can do. I will be able to develop what I describe as what football, soccer, field safety maintenance checklist. And that checklist will give you the right to go around every day and carry on inspection. Anything you find as a deficiency, it will be corrected. So that way you will minimize cost, you will minimize budget expense, because when you find one leak water hose not working well from the inspection, you will come and fix it. Because some of the things you see here is there are unsafe bare spots in turf with a hard soil surface exposed. If you check out one, yes or no, not apply, then you will go and carry this thing. Do you think the guy know this thing then, yeah, folks? Do you really think the guy know this thing? Really? Do you really think they know this thing? They know this thing here. So you got wasting was right in this country here, America, working in the group home. That's what he was doing here. He working in the group home here. And there's nothing wrong with working in the group home. But don't go to that, bro, and go take on a position. You see, coaches like Zidane, Frank Lampard, they play the game on the field. But when they decided to become coach, they went and took the examination to become a coach. It's one thing to play the game. However, if you want to become an administrator, you have to go and take that exam so that you can understand not just playing the physical football, but you understand what it means to run a team. Sugar Wilson and play football around here. The last time you ever saw Sugar Wilson being a sport minister, it was during Charles Taylor time. He worked for Charles Taylor and he was sport minister. You tell me which game Charles Taylor MPFL Rebel days went to go play across Africa or even in the region. And now the man Weah took and went and put him there. You see, Weah have the opportunity to select clever, smart solution. But he picked the wrong people. He went for the wrong people. And now the wrong people embarrassing here today. Because you know what? They got a serious problem. So let's go back again to the video here. So we're going to be all over the place here. All right. And I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying this because this is what I do best. Teaching. I'm enjoying it. I'm exposing these guys professionally. I'm not causing them man, I'm not causing them pa, but I'm just trying to tell you that they are very incompetent. And mind you, at the end of the show, just watch the number will be small. Overnight, they say already up again. They'll go and start to see all the idea then. Every regulation, in order for you to utilize what your stadium is supposed to be up to, is for you to be able to carry out what we call routine checklist audit inspection. When you audit anything, you're trying to determine what are the deficiencies that need to be corrected before it gets worse. The rest of the country, like I said, they don't have preventive maintenance program. They got no standard of work. You get Labrman Newton today. Buy a new car. If you become a millionaire, buy a new car and go to Labrman. He will never change the brakes. He will never change the windshield wiper. He will never change. He will ride that car until that car gets damaged and he go and park it. When you ask him, you say, my man, I don't know what to do. But my man, you're supposed to maintain the car here. I don't know. That's how the whole country operates. So let's go back again to these guys here. All right. Let's go back to these guys here. And hey, please forgive me. I'm not here to humiliate these guys. We just here, we just analyzing it, right? All right. So let me progress here.
That country, they do play those games, you know. So and it's one of the things that we feel our stadium. It's not you know, we have seen. We saw and Daryl's done and with a tour around. Isaac Dove was there. You know, we saw the stadium. It was good. It was clean.
So you see how stupidity works. So by you seeing something, what he doesn't understand, what I'm seeing, does it meet the regulation of FIFA? Does it meet those things? Let me show you one more thing here, all right? So let me progress here, all right? Now, here is a photo here, all right? So what is it here? Confederation of African Football, CAF, all right? Confederation of African Football, all right? Let me move this thing here quickly here. Confederation of African Football, and for short, it's called CAF, requirement for banned local stadium to host international games, all right? So what went on here, all right? So let's see what CAF did here, all right? What CAF did? CAF did something here. I would like to find out here. I hope I have it here. Let me see here. All right, there was something CAF did here. Let's see what I have here. I have to go and look for it. Let me go and look for it. Let me go and get it for you guys. So I'm going into my library now to get it out. Let me go and bring it out for you guys to see here. All right, because this guy is a clown. He's a complete clown. And not only is he a clown, but he's a total moron. Yes, this guy is a moron. Yes. Tell him, say Randy says he's a moron. This guy is a moron. I'll tell you that one right now. He is a moron. Yes. One of the greatest morons I ever seen in my life. That's who he is. Yes. He's a moron. So let me see whether this is it here, guys. I hope this is it here. Let me see where I can get it on the screen here. All right. I hope this is it here. I think it's loading up here. Let me see where it will load up here. I just want to see it here. This is it here. All right, yeah, that's it. So CAF came out. This stadium here belonged to, I believe, Zambia. All right, so CAF went to Zambia and banned Zambia. Let me show you what are some of the things that CAF mentioned here. So we'll take the photo down and then I will appear here and then we'll bring this here. All right, and I will try to blow it up for you guys to see here. All right, so the Confederation of African Football has informed the ZIFA, that is the Zambia International Football Federation, about some of the conditions the team has. All right. So it read in part down here, and I'm going to read right here. It says CAF also reveals some of the things needed to be maintained at the Bonjour or Bajou Field Stadium. So here are some of the requirements after CAF went to Zambia. Number one, they said the pitch condition must be improved and the surface must be green and marked clearly in white. All right. So when Kev Hassan said the football stadium look good, the team look good, you see how stupid he is. He's not giving you specific because he doesn't understand how things work. All right. Two, it said infield goals posts must be easily removable and spare goal posts must be available for quick installation. So you see, when FIFA went out there, when CAF, the Confederation of African Football, went and visited Zambia, these are all the list of findings that they discover and give it to them as a corrective action. Now, how do you prevent such a long list? Remember what I showed you from the beginning here? So let's come back here. When you understand FIFA regulation and in your own country, you tend to develop what I would describe as this regulation here. All right. When you tend to develop your own internal safety and maintenance checklist, it will help you to lessen your findings when it comes to what FIFA will do, because you got to do your due diligence so that when FIFA come to see things, because you already got the regulation, the rules, you know what FIFA want because you got that rule book. And all you got to do is to develop your own internal audit of your stadium, from the field to the stadium, the different rooms. You need to follow those things. And that's what they never did. So when you hear that clown talking all the kind of crap, I want you to ask him, on what ground are you making this statement? All right?
It was nice. We saw that. You guys and
now you see how he making fool of himself now. Now you see it now.
I think
how he making fool of himself.
They feel looking. It's still looking good. It's still looking good. The only thing is the bucket seat they're talking about and all those things that gave us time, but it's still looking good. But now they're saying the pitch, they need to remove all the grass and put a new grass. Come on, man. It's not compared to.
So you see, the stupid thing he's talking over there, he's telling the people out there, they still don't look good. What is the classification of something being good? But then he turned around in a few seconds and said, the only thing is to move the grass. You say the stadium looking good, but the only thing is to move the grass. You see how your grandchildren will embarrass you when you get big tomorrow? I mean, when they grow up tomorrow, you see how they embarrass you? Many of you that sit down and watch the guys, just tell me, say, Randy, I watch the guy just to entertain myself. I know they're talking stupid things at times. I just sit there to entertain myself. Then that way, your grandchildren will give you a cut on the slack, or will give you a slack. Because they may telling you that they still don't look good. He used the word good. They still don't look good. But the only thing, they should take the grass out. When you create a condition in what you're describing, that means it's not a perfect description. The thing you take for granted is what other people will take as important, and that's why we got regulation. So when he said that we should remove the grass, the question to here is, why you think we should remove the grass? What regulation on CAF, Confederation of International Football, or FIFA, or UEFA, that say that grass need to be removed? For what reason? He doesn't understand those things. He just come here to tell you that crap. That's one of the reasons I don't watch these guys. Not that I'm trying to overlook them, but they don't have people who got the credential to discuss these things. You remember the phrase? If you hang with a bat in the town, you'll be like the bad man, right? Or the same color fly together. We are not the same color that fly together. All right?
The other stadium that we're saying, it's not, it don't make sense to me. Even in Europe, we see some bad pitches. So
he lied right there. All right? He's lying. Why he's lying. All right? UEFA. This is UEFA right here. All right? Look at the board here. UEFA. This is like a European, let me see here. Hey, Google sleeping. All right. So you see UEFA here, guide to like the European, I think European something. Let me see what UEFA stands for here. I want to do that quickly here. All right. Let's do it here. E. All right. EUEF. I want to get it. Okay, it's right here now. Good. All right. So UEFA is here. Let's see. I'm trying to get the definition here. So if you have that, I think it's European something here. So let me get a definition here, guys. If you're down there, you want to give it, that's up to you. But I want to expand on that because I find pleasure right now to give you guys what that UEFA stand for. All right. So those who listen can be able to understand. If in Europe there, all right. Let's see definition of that. Okay. Let's see here. Some of you guys will beat me to it. All right. So there is it here. All right. Union of European Football Association. Who beat me to it right now? Somebody did? All right. So UEFA stands for Union of European Football Association. That's what it stands for here. So you see, when Kel Hassan come here to lie to you guys, UEFA got to Quality Stadium. These are all the different guys here. So when you get out and say, oh, even in Europe, that bugger is lying through his teeth. He got no idea. So you see, go and look up the UEFA guide to Quality Stadium. You will see all those things in there. He lying. You see it? He lying.
And some bad fields around. We saw that in Europe. I watch game and soccer game every weekend. I'm a soccer fanatic, so I know exactly what I'm and talking about. We have seen bad.
So he's judging himself. He's a soccer fanatic. Poor guy. Okay, let me progress here.
Even in Europe, look at that field, guy.
Whether 3.5, 4, 6, 7, 8.
All right.
Got to be about it. But you see, Minister Dove, I know many Liberians are watching this show right now. They're not going to buy what you're saying, though. They're not going to buy an excuse from us because it's not the first time they have come out with this. They have put us in the red. And I'm sure, like, I mean, you're a supervisor, you're a minister, you got people working under you, under your line of supervision. If something is done, you say, look, okay, minister, you tell your honor staff, I want this done, this done. You give them benchmarks. I mean, sometimes, look, I want this done before to approve it or something like that. And I'm sure they did it to Liberia. And then
yes, the guy is right. This guy who's talking right now, he's right. Let me show you how. All right. So let me show you something here. All right. So this guy who just talking, yes, FIFA did go to Liberia and did something for them. All right. So let me see what FIFA did for them here. Let me see, where is it? 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 Come on, get ready. All right. So let's see here. Let me go get it for you guys. So FIFA was in Monrovia. All right. It's coming out right now. You're going to see it shortly. Let me just try to load it up for you guys here. So FIFA were here. And I hope you guys enjoy this thing here because I'm having fun with it. Yes, I am having serious fun with it right now. So where's my picture? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, there it is, right here. So FIFA, all right. So the guy's right. FIFA came back sometime in May, all right, and it will get better shortly. It can get more better here. So that guy was right. FIFA came, and here's the photo here, all right. So Confederation, as you can see right here, all right, it said May 10, 2021. So this year in May, the CAF, Confederation of African Football, temporarily lift ban on the sport complex. So when they came, they did their inspection. And they saw that the guy was making progress. So they said, okay, gentlemen, we'll not wait until you get done. The little progress you're making, we'll lift it up. But guess what they did? After the guy didn't lift it up, they forgot about the progress. They drop it. But here what I'm missing, here what they gave them. All right. So let's move the one from here and look at specifically what they gave them here. All right. So let's make this one big here for you so we can read it here. All right. So it reads in part here, and I'm going to read it for you in part here. So this is Yoga Wilson talking now. All right. So it reads in part. He urged that the public not politicize. So you know when the failure will always say the government want to do this. So Zoga Wilson is saying because Zoga Wilson is very egotistic. He like to take things personal, and personally, he's a guy who don't take criticism. All right. So he said here, people should not take this thing to politicize it. All right. But here are the key thing here, right? So it says that he refused to state exactly when the sport complex will be in full compliance. So you see, Zoga Wilson, he refused to tell the journalists when the soccer stadium will be in full compliance, even though they lifted them. But review that CAF listed the needs for 5 things. You saw what I showed you guys. Let me spin the thing around small here. You saw that 11 attempts to get to the stadium in Zambia, right? Those 11 attempts that CAF said they should fix. Here are the things they gave to Liberia. All right. So that's read here. So here are the 5 things they gave here. 1, they wanted Liberia to have showers. Shower in the team dressing room. That's one of the things they wanted them to do. Shower. 2, they wanted them to have hot water tank. Damn it. La problem hot water tank, you can forget that shit. They wanted to have hot water tank. That's number 2. Number 3, media center. They wanted to have media center. And then followed by what? The bucket seat they're talking about. Why they want the bucket seat? Like I said here, you cannot keep sitting down on a high surface here because there is something we call ergonomics. All right? Ergonomic, not economy or economic. No. Ergonomic is the body of how you sit on things, how you sit. Sometimes when you're in the office, the way you type, it will couple turn off for you based on how you sit down. So when you sit on a high stadium to watch a game, because you see in the webman world, we do what we call research. Research has shown that people sitting down on high surface, it have a lasting impact on their lower back. So the ergonomics call for you sitting down in the think about a luxury car you're riding in where you sit down, like in the office chair I'm sitting down. It's like a bucket seat because when you sit in the bucket seat, it gave your back that comfort to sit so that way you can have back injury. Why it is true that Liberia don't sue people, the spectator don't sue the football association. In Europe, they will sue stadiums if they found that many people are having back problems from sitting on the stadium and they see many cases coming out. That thing can lead to a class action lawsuit. So people have different departments that look at these things to carry on what we call process improvement with what they do. So when they talk about the bucket seat, I believe part of that bucket seat is due to what we call ergonomics. All right. So yeah, what they did here, they want the showers in the team dressing room. They want the hot water tanks, the media center, the bucket seat, review of the playing pitch. See it? Remember what I told you guys about the inspection? They wanted to review the playing pitch and other conditions. Those were the things they gave them. The question I want you to ask yourself here is, did they do those things? How sure they did it? Who audited them? Who went there to do the fact finding to ensure whatever the thing was done? The job we are visited that stadium, the Darrell Dillon call them no, because they are all bunch of people that don't understand how those things work. All right, so let listen here because the minister will soon be coming in.
If they did it to us, why we haven't met them? But let's hear from the other people.
Well, Anthony, this is what I'm saying now. If they said, okay, let's make the page acceptable through which people claim. And you and I know today it looks very much more playable than before. So in our wisdom, in our thinking, what has been done today at least is far, far way better than the way it was yesterday. Now, who knew that CAF would have insisted the entire thing being changed? Now, is it a matter of it being changed or is it a matter of it being playable? Is it not playable today? I do think if you were to look at the pictures, you would want to agree that as it is now, it is better than the few we played on in Nigeria. I'm sure one will agree. But again, that's where we are, man. You know, I'm not accusing of anything, but football is never void politics. So we'll have to let and see how we can do better.
We're not experts in the CAF.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that guy, the guy with that big voice, who just said we're not expert. I respect him a little bit. He having the conversation just on the surface. Because the speciality of FIFA people, whether in Liberia or outside of Liberia, are the one that's supposed to tell Mr. Kev Hassan that the grass you're looking at over there, that's not the best grass that meet the FIFA regulation. The field you saw with your bare eyes and thinking that's a bad field, you got no understanding of what make a better field. What your eyes see does not measure up to any regulation. So this guy, he making a little bit sense here, and I appreciate him for that. All right? So let's go ahead.
You know,
And forgive me, guys.
No,
It's because
I'm not here to listen to the other guy.
Needs to be done. Not just the roadside. I think that's a.
And forgive me, guys. Let me
I don't want to listen to the guy here. Yeah.
It's sad, and let me tell you why it's sad. It's sad because
I don't want to listen to that guy. That guy is corrupt. I don't want to listen to him. So I'll put on low ring until the minister can call him. That guy is corrupt. I don't want to listen to him. The corrupt man. Very, very corrupt. Benjamin Sandy is very corrupt. I don't want to listen to him. Until he may pay me arrangement to pay that money, that's the only way I'll give him voice to listen to him. No, he's very corrupt. So that's something else to talk about. So the Minister of Finance is going to call in shortly. He's going to call in shortly. All right? So that was for the Minister of Finance. I'm sorry you feel that way, if you feel that way now. But I don't deal with people like that. The country you live in, where you live in America here, you live in Europe, nobody will take $45,000 from the government that belongs to the taxpayer and just sit down on a show and acting like he's perfect. No. Only in Liberia it happens. Only in Liberia. Yeah, so I can take that. All right? Yeah, I can take that. So that way until he come on. I'm trying to get the minister here. All right, so the minister is back.
Nobody expected that we would have these kinds of things. Look at another point. Let's look at SKD. You can play an international game over there. There's nothing going to. It's the cost of preparing a team over the next 8 in the next 2 weeks. We have some proposal of that.
All right, so the person is, the minister is calling now.
Come do inspection for them to fail us.
The minister is calling now.
Point. Let's get it done. Minister Do.
The minister is calling now.
Saying. The bucket seats are in town. Maybe we should wait until the bucket seats are installed.
All right. He's talking. The minister will soon call. I don't want to hear that guy. He's corrupt.
And then
corrupt man. Don't encourage corruption around you. Very dangerous. He destroy things. I'll make him to understand.
Where he just
yes, it's a corrupt man. I see him more moving here, and very soon the phone will soon ring.
Finance on he want to say something concerning what we're talking about.
Okay, so the minister is about to speak now.
Yeah, thank you. I listened to the conversation. It's really not fair to the Liberian people, and I don't think the SKD stadium is something that.
What's the let me bring the minister to him here now. All right, so that he part of town now to be in a hot seat now. Let Prime Minister to here and bring him here. All right, guys. So they are talking about the stadium ban. The stadium is banned based on failure to meet the regulation or regulatory standard of the stadium. And you guys are discussing it on their show. Next thing you know, Mr. Finance Minister comes on and strictly tell the guys why you're discussing the thing in here. Mr. Minister, Minister Tue, you don't control what people say. You don't control what people say on their show. Secondly, you got no goddamn business coming on the show. You are the Minister of Finance. If anybody is to speak to that issue, it should be Zioga Wilson and not you. But I just go to show that my friend, I believe that he wants to either he run the whole show in the government. And that's what I call priority. Mixed guided priority. Mr. Tue, you're not supposed to be running on every show to go and want to be the mouthpiece for everything. Minister of Finance, Minister of Education, Minister of Health, now Minister of Sport. You can't do that. You can't do that. So let's listen to him and analyze it. All right? Let's listen to him and analyze it. So he's up there for you. Let's listen to him.
We subject to politics. The cost to do what the FIFA requires is somewhere around 3.54 billion. The government is making that decision to shut that field down for the next 2 years.
Okay. How long the government been in power? The government been in power for going up to 4 years. Why the cost is so exorbitant now? Why the cost went up? That's a question for you. Is it lack of maintenance over the years? What does maintenance do for you? Is it a help to cut down costs, identify problem that is little and fix it before it get big? So the finance minister and Mr. George Weah, they are subject to this thing here, right here. All right? You see, they do it, schedule it, dedicate it, and eliminate it. When this guy they call Yoga Wilson, and he really had his own goal for that stadium, he would have developed a checklist and list everything from the FIFA regulation on the pitch, what need to be inspected, what standard is in the field, what we have inside for the players in the two dressing room. When you discover all those things, then you ask it, is it necessary to do now? Yes, let's do it now. And then you go to the finance minister and say, look, we are carrying out this audit. It's our routine audit to maintain the stadium integrity, to meet FIFA CAF standard. And here are the few things we found. How much is it? Well, so far it's on 1,000 because there are some things that are not fully destroyed. We just need to change a few bolts and put it in there. They never did it. Every year they pass the budget, they never did it. They use those things, they use those equipment, it got damaged beyond repair. And that means they got to bring new one in. And that one the reason why today the expense is so hard. Think about you driving your car, you never change your oil, right? And one day the engine just like, pop, and you go to the mechanic shop. Mechanic say, my man, you drove the car with no engine oil. The engine is locked. What should I do? We have to change the engine now. What? Yes, that's exactly what the guys did. Remember the UN ambassador came up one time and told you guys this? When he said, I'm a little bit worried about the coffee plant. The reason you need to be paying your electricity bill is because I'm worried about the maintenance of that equipment. You see, that coffee plant, why it is true that they put in new equipment, they are using it over time. It's going to create wear and tear. If they don't carry on preventive maintenance every month throughout the year, when the equipment start to break down, it's going to start to cost millions of dollars. But you see, we are people that don't listen, because when people telling them some of the things, man, I mean, talking. That's how Liberians are. That's how Liberians are. There are so many. The reason you see the poo gashing up in the street today, the reason you see old buildings, the reason you see bad roads, because we don't have preventive maintenance. We want to use it right now in Europe, in America, in Asia. We'll say, Randy, I have not seen any construction worker on the road trying to fix the road in America that year round. That year round. Every year, every day, every month. Right now, as we're speaking right now, some of you guys are in the street right now. You pick up your phone, you see construction worker on the street. Why do you think they're facing the street? Because they took millions of dollars to build that road from scratch. And in order to reduce the cost to fix it, they will start to do small things. In your shear tear, what we should do back home, you take the needle, you sew it there. That preventive maintenance. Rather than the whole shear just tearing all and you go buy a new one. That brand could not reach that thing yet. So let's listen to the minister again, right? So the minister now jumping in the whole thing here that he got nothing to do with it. He got nothing to do with it. But that's what he does best. So let's listen to some of the things he about to say.
Years and spend 3.5 to 4 million on it. So let's stop talking about it. We had never made that kind of decision. Whether 3.5, 4, 6, 7, 8 million. Recently, I think 7 years ago, we spent some 50 million. It still is.
Do you think the minister is right to tell the people just start talking about this thing? You see, when we screw up things, then we won't come to control other people. Don't talk it. No. Hold that man here as if my man, I have to talk it. But you didn't do the right thing. Let us stop it, let us do this. Means I told you wrong. You're wrong. The people are entitled to their opinion. And the Labyrinth people need to know. Because when you guys not doing your job, they need to know. If every one of you guys came up with your 3-year vision plan, and Mr. Yoga Wilson and Mr. You've spoke and said, Mr. Weah, my focus area will be on making sure that stadium meet the standards. So I'm going to create a routine audit to audit from the stadium wing to the football field to the different dressing room and see whether it meets CAF and FIFA regulation. And whatever I find, we'll sit down and discuss it. And then we'll let the Labyrinth people know that our administration, we are focused on improving things. And here are some of the findings. You're too old, you inherited everything Ellen gave to you. And today now, Mr. Tua want to come and tell you, say, millions of dollars. No, Mr. Tua, you should be asking, why are we to where we are with our stadium? Why are we to this? What did we do when we took over? What did we find when we took over? And why we didn't do what we're supposed to do now? That CAF is coming after us. CAF, Confederation of African Football, was not funded yesterday. They've been in existence for a very long time. And their rules have been in existence, and they continue to improve their rule based on what FIFA gave them. They improve on it. Such as the bucket seat. When Samuel Canado built that stadium way back, the FIFA regulation did not ask for bucket seat, right? But since those been there, that stadium been over for all the years, they're coming back now and say everybody should have bucket seat. That is process improvement. We don't have those things. We don't have process improvement in our country. That's why you need to stop listening to your political entertainment, then, folks. You're fucked up in that country. And that country fucked up too. So listen to me some more.
That's not what it is. That field is in a very good condition that is playable. And
So who is Samuel Tua? What is his area of specialty to tell you that the soccer stadium is in a very good condition and is playable? You see the cross-function now. The man is an economist. He don't understand regulation. He are not seeing any. Rather, he say, you know what? From what I see, I don't know the detail. I don't know the regulation. But in my poor understanding, that stadium look good to me. But I cannot judge what I know that I'm not especially in to determine whether that stadium is fit to actually play the game. You see, the reason why, and I read it to you, right? They needed what? Shower in both dressing room, hot water tank. They needed room for the media, and they needed the pitch to be what? Clean, right? 5 things they gave them. But because they had done one, they think that won't cover the rest. That's why they're seeing the football field look good. All of them come in, the football field look good. But they put together 5 things, and I just read that to you here. Think about you going to take 5 subjects in school. You pass one, then you argue. I mean, I passed the class, but you got 4 more subjects to take. How you say you pass the class when you pass 1 subject? That's why they want you to understand. And that's why he come here embarrassing himself. Your brother need to slow down. He's not master of everything. Let other people come and talk for themselves. That's my advice to him. Let other people come and talk for themselves. And I think we all need to tell him to slow down. You want to play the bling game? Go to Yoga Wilson. Say, oh yeah, Mr. Wilson, you took office. I didn't see your vision plan for the ministry. You are the sport minister, Mr. Wilson. I thought you were supposed to come to me and give me your vision plan, how you want to see the stadium. Are we meeting the regulatory standard of CAF, WAFU? I don't know what it's called, WAFU. And then the FIFA, are we meeting those standards, Yoga Wilson? He's not going to be running coming here. But because he master of everything, that's why he's getting himself involved into things. And professionally, I will criticize him because he cross-functioning his role. If there's any money-related issue, let it be Yoga Wilson who come and talk first to explain what's going on. And all you do, you sit down. Because he's a minister of sport. He's not a minister of sport. That remind me of when we used to be in school. Teacher teaching English, then he won't go be solving my problem on the board. That don't happen in America here. If you're an English teacher, anything that has to do with math, you say, you know what? You tell the student, when you meet your math teacher, you can go to your math teacher explain it for you. But in Liberia, we grow in a culture where the science teacher knows, he think he knows physics, where the science teacher think he knows chemistry, he want to explain everything in the class. And that's what the brother is doing here now. All habit that high. You need to stay in your lane. You need to stay in your lane. I'm just being honest. It's a professional criticism here. Stop talking into other people's business. Let's listen to him again.
See the game around. We don't want to talk about FIFA politics or CAF politics or. So the reality is that the feud is.
So he's telling you that FIFA regulation, like what I showed you from Zambia, they're getting all that 11 lists of things. Is that FIFA policy? I mean, is that politics? To first shower for the two teams to take their shower. Many times, man, you gotta watch Ronaldo then, Messi then, after the game, Sergio Ramos then, they take a picture in the dressing room with a towel around their neck. And they come in from the shower or they're about to go to the shower, and you see how decent the place look like. So the man is telling you that politics. The people will get about 5 things to fix. And they can't fix the 5 things. Rather than come here to admit their mistake, to own their mistake, to say, you know what, gentlemen, we own our mistake. We drop the ball. It is from George Weah to me. We own our mistake. And all we can do right now is to appeal to FIFA that we're doing our best. But it's switching the whole thing from ownership mistake to politics. And they want to just take the football field to fix when there are 4 more other items to take care of and other things. And they want to bring it to politics. That's why I don't watch Spoon TV. That's why I'm not going to Liberia. Because I think I'm talking right now, if I go on Brussels and start talking there, maybe it will be hard for you to find me. It will be hard. And that's how I will train in this country. To look at the facts and discuss the cause. That's J. Randy. That's me. That's why you see many people don't watch my show. I don't eat crab with sheep. I left Liberia when I was there like this. I wanted the Zogos. But I can't transform myself. And I don't want to see another Zogo coming after me. That is the next generation. And we must learn to fix things and correct it. You guys are not correcting things. I'm not too sure about the opposition. But what I can tell you, I'm just here to tell you the fact. The minister is wrong. People only operate on regulations. They want to see safety, they want to see security, and they want to see a better stadium. And these are all standards they must meet. That's why I always ask you, what standard do we do things in Liberia? What are the guidelines that we follow? Because we don't operate on rules. We don't do things with rules. When other people, the part of the international body, when the international body bring their rules and we see it, because we don't practice it back home, then we tend to interpret it a very different way. Politics, hatred. Or we try to interpret in our own eyes. I see grass, that's why it means. They tell us every car you see can drive faster. So the old car we will buy when we come to America, and the man will shine the car in the parking lot, see the car shining, and so you get in the car, if you pay your late $4,000 or $5,000, you go, you run it for 2 days. You first thing you go low, nothing blocking the whole traffic on the road now because the car can't even move. That key has a thing. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Let me progress here.
Is that playable in the judgment of FIFA? That has nothing to do with George Weah being a football player, because George Weah just became president 3 years. In the last 3 years, we did not find $15 million ever.
I differ with that. Mr. 12, you cannot call for George Weah. Why is it true that George Weah doesn't understand how administrative team works? Because George Weah was just the end user on the field. All the people who were at Monaco, the technical staff, all the technical staff at PSG, all the technical staff at AC Milan, they were following FIFA regulation. Making sure when Joe Weah score, he slide on the field and he get no back in the day we call it dollar on your side. When you slide, you get so on your side, we call it dollar. Because we should have the $1 coin. So we call it dollar on your side. For those of you that don't know, back in the day, like we used to have dollar coins, 50 cents. So when you slide on the field, when you get so on your side, we call it dollar. So that's the terminology. So old terminology I'm using that we are instead will understand when you speak to me here. All right? I'm an old head into new head. When we are slide on AC Milan fee, why do you think he's sliding with all getting dollar on his side? Because FIFA wanted those standards to be met. So when Mr. Weah came to office, first thing he should have told Mr. Yoga Wilson, I love the game. And I'm a Ballon d'Or winner too, you know that. We need to put our stadium up to standard. We gotta do something about it. You know how the men can be sliding on the feet there? Have a conversation with Yoga Wilson. You know how we just slide on the feet? What do you think? Call some of your friends in Europe. How can be our stadium better? Oh yeah, I was saying the rule book. What rule book you got to follow? Yoga Wilson here. We'll talk to the people and they give you that book. You come back here so we can fix the stadium here, my brother. Weah is one of the presidents who loves something, but did not care for it. Let me repeat myself again. Weah is the first African president that loves something and never cared for it. You know why? All the military leaders that took office by force in Africa, what they did, they strengthened the army. Weah is a soccer player. He took office, but he led the soccer activity down in the country. Military men take over, he strengthened the military. Because you're a military guy. Soccer men take over, so to strengthen the soccer. He never did that. And then Minister Tua want to come here and cover for the president. No, Mr. Tua, you can't do that. Because you didn't help Mr. Weah to prioritize things. And here are some of the things that Mr. Weah need to understand, folks. All right? Let me bring Mr. Tua down small and bring this up here. This is what Mr. Weah need to understand. What is urgent or urgent and what is not urgent? Do we need to fix our football stadium? Yes. Why? Because it's another source of income. Nobody brought that to Mr. Tua. They didn't bring it to. So when Mr. Tua comes to speak, these are things he's supposed to be going to Mr. Weah. Mr. Weah here, the little budget we got. Let's do this thing and get to the national legislature because these things are very important. But they're not giving Mr. Weah this particular matrix table. Do it now, schedule it, dedicate it, or eliminate it. They're not giving this thing to Mr. Weah. And Mr. Weah doesn't understand how these things work. And that's why they misprioritizing things. So let's go back again to the minister again. Yeah, let's go back to the minister again. Let's listen to the minister here. Let's put him up here. And just so if you're a Minister Tua fan, I'm only trying to make sure that Minister Tua understand that this response was not necessary, or it was not compulsory, or it was not mandatory that he respond to this. It was supposed to be Yoga Wilson.
To fix that field in the last 3 years. So in the last 3 years, we've been trying to do too many things to fix education, to fix health, to fix too many things for somebody to say, because we didn't find $15 million to put the field in the perfect condition like Manchester or somewhere else. So George, we are there.
No. Guys, the 5 things they gave, did they make any footnote that it should be the Manchester United? The 5 things they gave to Liberia, did you see anything, whether it's a footnote or a little note below, and say, make sure it be the Manchester United or AC Milan or the Bernabeu? No. Tua is just talking out of frustration. They dropped the ball. They didn't use their priority matrix. What was important? Although the situation has turned worse. When you don't manage something properly, when you don't maintain it, when it destroy or it get destroyed, the cost to fix it will be very high. And that's what Tua did not do. Their priority was only focus on specific area, but they want to be part of other area. That's their deficiency. They didn't prioritize things well. That's what I'm seeing down here. You see here? All right. Mr. Weah need to establish or create a priority table to begin to solve their problem. So 12 is wrong.
Is a failure or something. I mean, it's not a politicization, it's unnecessary. So that's not a conversation tonight. The conversation is that, well, maybe the ministry should have said, look, once you have been, let's get out of play, let's let the public that the field is not going to be in use in the next 18 months, 2 years, and that's
okay. So that one you read on that one. That should have been the role of Yoga Wilson. When Mr. Wilson took over, his first 90 days, part of his strategic plan would have been, let's do a full-blown audit of the stadium to determine where we are in terms of CAF and FIFA regulation. If we fall short of something that need to be fixed, then we can take it to Weah. If they are done things early, you see, they say prior performance. Prior performance prevent poor. Prior preparation prevent poor performance. If you prepare early, you will not get poor performance. But if you don't prepare, you will get poor performance. That's what they did. Yoga Wilson should have conducted an audit of the entire stadium to determine the health, safety, and security of the stadium. The safety, the security, and the operation of the stadium. Those three things. Security, safety, and the operation of the stadium. That means the playing condition. And that will give the stadium a clean bill of health that will qualify it to work. He never did that. Had he done that from the beginning of his stage, there's nothing wrong with you doing an assessment. Assessment is just giving you the gaps of things that are not there, but need to be there, but it creates a gap. And then you send out a report. And then they be in the final minister ball. Then today now, they would the benefit back. Sugar Wilson, you can't be blowing yourself. Well, you all know I did it in a public report, but the government said no money. What did the government say? They didn't do that. Let us see more.
Decision the government is making now. So forget about that football field. No game is going to be played there. In the next 30 days, the government is making arrangement. The next budget that's coming, look into the budget. And look into the budget.
Ask the minister a question.
We are finding people can feed themselves, and the government is putting money for LOSA. So watch, and anybody out there now, watch for that debate. We're going to put money in the budget to fix LOSA from Manchester level. And not see the critics coming back and say, drugs are not there, but they are fixing you anyway. So don't make football, don't make the field of politics thing. You don't talk about football, LOSA performance. I think that's a better politics, but not the field itself. Maybe why LOSA don't win, what we need to put on LOSA. I think that's a better discussion.
You can't dictate to the people, Samuel, to it. That's why you see, I always said, you need to come up with your quarterly report. After every 3 months, you come up with a report. Because if the people come out and start discussing things, and you got a report out there that specifically show what you guys are doing, and then when somebody come and want to discuss something outside of whether it's the youth and sport performance report or the Ministry of Gender performance report, if people come and start saying things, then you can come on and say, look, you guys are speaking out of context. Here is our report, or here are the reports from our various ministry performance. And if you guys are not speaking to the report to evaluate us, but just want to just create an open topic, then I don't think you guys really mean well for the country. You got no report to get the people. If people see things, they read things, and they come out to discuss it, then Mr. Toy want to come and say the people should not discuss it. No, Mr. Toy, I think that's very unfair to the people. It's incumbent upon you guys to come up with your own documentation to the report.
He was not playable in the judgment of power, in the judgment of FIFA. So the government is somehow supposed to be feeling, or it doesn't prioritize football. So this is unfortunate. I don't know. We should not tell that kind of thing to the public. What is true is that the field has been designed, has been designated, capital destination. Okay. So we have agreed we will find the money, we will look for the money in the budget, and we'll find the contractors. FIFA, I think the minister has already found contractors who are coming. It's about he submitted a bill of I think $3 million. I told you, well, I don't know where they find it, but it's got some idea. That's the should all that's like just responsible for $5 million to do the big. If you approve that next year, January 1 to December, we have the budget. Let's find a 3.5 million, whatever, and then let's just put up the entire thing and then reform the fee. That's it.
So,
who had a God-given talent and applied himself and a jet. Let the government find the money. The budget preparation, we're submitting the budget in the next 2 weeks. We have some proposal already. The minister submitted 3. I think he has stretched the national envelope in a number of causes that are of extreme importance to the people of this country. Currently, he is spending money to keep the price of rice at $30.
Mr. 12, there are so many things on your plate. I don't think the issue that was being discussed should be crisscrossed with other problems that you guys are solving. I call it and I describe it as distraction. This minister is distracting things. Be very honest. You drop the ball. You didn't do the right thing. FIFA being here. All you gotta do is to provide the fundings from FIFA and see what you guys can do. Give the Liberian people the reason. They will ask questions. But why are we up to this standard when you guys been up here for 3 years? And they got all right to ask the question. Don't bring in we got back already to do this one. Listen to me.
Hold on.
Yeah, but Minister 12, I beg you.
I don't want to hear that. And you don't invite the word. The word knows Liberia's going to be difficult. We had war that destroyed us 250 years. We had the word come to help us in the last 12 years. And when it seemed like we could have turned a corner after all that support, we still are in the difficult economic lurch. And so in the last 3 years, we've been trying to dig ourselves out of that lurch. And the world is now hearing a different story, As I said to many U.S. congressmen, people were withdrawing on President Weah when he took office. People assume that Liberia had too much.
We call that one sweet talk. That's not the issue here. That's not the issue. But you see, these guys on the platform, they are all in the pocket of the ministers and back home. So they're not going to be asking the tough question. They're not going to be saying, hey, this is not what we want. So that's who they are. All right. So what meeting with you, a congressman, got to do with the stadium business? I mean, what you got to do? Let the discussion, let him respond, be laser. The purpose he called the show is to inform the people about the ban on the stadium. And I don't think injecting meeting congressmen during the 1 year is part of the discussion. It's just a distraction. The first time he came, he appeared on the show, he told people how to discuss the issue. So he trying to spin the thing and focus the people attention on something. I just thought that was very wrong. He shouldn't be doing that.
And so they needed to turn their attention elsewhere. But what happened to all of that aid? We still have an undiversified economy. We still have a weak private sector. We still have deficit.
So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means the president don't know how to prioritize things. You can list everything you want, but there are some things that must be part of the equation of prioritizing things. So if the president cannot prioritize things, why do you think the president left Liberia? He accused not him in particular, but many of the indigenous intellect back then accused the two-week party government of not focusing on other area of performance. And of course, Mr. Weah became a victim of that same thing too, because Liberia was not really focused on improving the sporting sector in the country, right? So because of that, there were not many stadium built across the country in various counties, and Mr. Weah had to leave the country to travel to Tunnel, all right, to play for Tunnel in Cameroon, went to Europe and came back. So when he saw the disadvantage of how football was not giving attention, and he became president, and then looking at the current situation and not doing anything, how do you justify that to say the president is just the president? Let me tell you wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Infrastructure, that's right, all of that. In 2006, our debt was zero. In 2017, our debt was nearly $1 billion.
Let Mr. Tuaje find time to come and talk about the economic state of the country and not interfere and inject into the show whatever happened. I mean, it's not right, man.
We're at a point where we're debt strapped again. So it feels like we're reorganized and the world is not getting that narrative that, okay, man, maybe we look at the
Right. So now expect the football fee and the pay. Yeah, Molly, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you all doing, students?
Fine, thank you.
So now it is time to listen to the real deal now. So you're going to listen to the Minister of what? Youth and Sports. Now remember, let me give you a heads up. In May of this year, they banned them and they lifted the ban. They said, okay, you got to do a few things with the stadium. What I want you to expect from Sugar Wilson is what have been the progress and what are the findings that FIFA is concerned about. What findings or what what did they see that they believe that is CAF believe that it is not okay to use the stadium. So let's listen to him. All right, let's listen to him.
And how yourself doing?
Well, I'm fine. God be the glory.
Amen. Well, we just had the Minister of Finance calling, and he's also calling for he recommended that the stadium be closed and so forth, to put more money into it to renovate the stadium, to refurbish it. First of all, tell us why FIFA said that our stadium is still bad.
Well, thank you so much. You all may be aware that in May of this year, the first ban was put on the STD, and in 24 hours, that ban was pending a meeting with our team and CAF. And that meeting was held on October 8th. May 8th. When we held that meeting with CAF, we were very clear that some of the new requirements that CAF have put in place will require time for Liberia to meet. In that meeting, we agreed on specific areas that we needed to work on so that our fee, if we meet all of them, can be cleared for our qualifying matches. Those areas were one, the both in and away dressing room, the match commissioner room, the referee room, the security system, the fire system, for get a fire certificate, the media center, and the medical room, and the playing cage. Those were areas. We told them specifically that the bucket seat was.
So, in all fairness to Mr. Sugar Wilson, he's very well on point. All right, he well on point. Number one, he mentioned that in May they had a situation where they lifted it, and I believe it was after that discussion where they assured the people that they are making progress in meeting those deficiencies. And I believe when the people saw what progress and the level of the progress, of course, the regulator, because those who come to do the inspection, because they're working from the playbook of the regulation, they are called regulators. So the regulators saw that what they were doing makes sense. They were heading in the right direction. So it's okay. We'll give you guys a temporary lift. It will not be a seal ban. We'll lift it up. It's like it's closed, but they just lift it up, but it's not removed. They lift it up, they can close it. So they just lift it up small so they can breathe. But now they did complete the whole work. I don't know. But he listed some of the things that we listed. We listed, right? And you saw them already. So let's listen to him more. All right, let's listen to him more. In fact, let me move his picture from here and bring what he's talking about right now on the screen. All right. So let me move him from here and let's listen to. And I just want you to read. This is the first paragraph, the second paragraph, right? The second paragraph, the last two sentences. or center line is where all those things are, right? So he talked about the shower room, the dressing room, the media room, the water tank. So he seems to be on point, about the things that went on. All right. So that's, those are the things they said they were going to be working. Let's listen to him more.
Quiet time for us. And so we also told them that we needed to add a feature talk that will require time. So we agreed on these deadlines, went ahead and started the work. When we did the work on all the areas, we invited them for the inspection. You will recall, on August 2nd, when the inspector came to inspect where we are done, we qualify and clear our football field for the match. Then on August 18th, when Mr. Mohammed Sidan, the task inspector director, came to Liberia to conduct a club licensing course for LND. This had nothing to do with inspection. But he decided to start by the fee, ask for the come to the fee to see the fee, and we appreciated it because since he was a club licensing inspector, we wanted to know for the facility what are his expectations so that we be able to submit a concrete and full request to the government when it comes to the entire school's complex. Because these benchmark we met are just partial requirement in order for us to make, but not the full requirement. But we agreed upon that on the video of 8th. During that inspection, we did notice some issue about football. Some of the grass had died. And it was when he said, well, it is not played.
Now, very important point there, guys. And just hold your horses. We're almost done now. After the minister conversation, we're done with the show. But here are some of the crazy things that you guys will don't understand here. You have a situation that is live. I don't know the interval of time the first guy who conducted the audit and said they were okay. Because speaking about the grass, what will keep the grass to be fresh? When you have a sprinkler system, right? Yes. So it happened that the moment they cleaned the field and planted the grass was growing at that time period when that guy came to do the inspection and he passed them. But part of the inspection regulations, part of the expectation of the regulation, if they are supposed to use sprinkler, where the sprinkler will come on every time of the day or somebody's going to water the field, the goal is to keep that grass fresh every day. It happens that this guy came as a senior guy or the guy who did the audit, from what I'm understanding from Mr. Zuga Wilson. The reason he's senior is because he got more experience than the guy who did the audit. And he perhaps checked everything seemed to be okay, but then he looked at the grass and said, did you guys change this grass? Yes. But according to the FIFA standard, the grass not supposed to be dead in certain area. And if it's dead in certain area, you guys are not qualified. I don't care how small it is, you guys will not be qualified. So that's why Zuga Wilson now is trying to fault this guy. No. Look at the rules and what the rule says. That's what matters. It's not what you did, but what rule did you violate? And it's up to the man's discretion to say, you know what, I'm going to issue you guys a citation. I'm not going to fine you guys. I'm not going to recommend banning the stadium. I'm going to issue you guys. But think about this. They shut the stadium down before. They gave them a little ban. They lifted it. Now, they expected them to be very compliant in doing what it's supposed to do. So the inspector came and inspected them. The grass, everything was okay. I hope he took pictures and stuff. But then the next guy came to visit and said, oh, let me just stop by and see. Because auditors are very smart. They know that people can fake things. Auditors know. That's why you see auditor will not announce when they're coming to you. Because right now, when the auditor tells you, I'm coming to the hole, my man, that power auditor, that man coming. Yeah, that man coming. That power auditor here. The man coming. But the day you're not expecting it, all the people that are around, the man not going to do. I mean, yo, the same thing happened to us. 2019, we got an auditor that came to our facility. They fry all that time. Yes, they fry all. This week, on the 19th, I was somewhere in Pennsylvania. My phone rang. The director called me. Since 2019. That auditor of our facility, since 2019. We now forget. Randy, yes. The auditor is here. Who? Call the person name. I was like, what? Yes. Person supposed to show in July, they never show in July, they never show in August, now they're here in October. I quickly drove. Got there. But here's the thing here. Since the new or in 2019, we have been planning every week, every month, every quarter, every year. We have been gathering our information. So this time when she came back, as soon as I got there, she already had a whole long list. I said, "Oh man, you do today?" I brought the whole document, and she left from over there with flying colors. My point here is, when you have a program that is subject to OSA auditor, you don't wait until they come inspect you. You gotta always think to the back of your mind, anytime they can show up. So you gotta be on top of your game, and that's why you must have the routine audit of people who work with you. The Ministry of Youth and Sport through the LFA, the Liberal Football Federation of Liberal Football Association should be hiring internal auditor to audit the Ministry of Youth and Sport, or the other way around. Youth and Sport audit the Ministry of the LFA. Somebody got to be the big brother to watch things and play by the rules. And then the government should also have an independent body out there with an attitude that I don't give a damn but whatever like Joe, we have government here. I'm just coming over to open my book and make sure that you meet the requirement. And that is called creating a check and balance in the system. When you do your thing, LFA and Youth and Sport go ahead and do it together and say it's okay. You bring a third party to come and conduct a third party assessment audit. When they qualify it, that will give it some little weight when the real people come in. And if you even want to extend that, you send for other auditor from Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, say, my man, yeah, you can take a look at what we got here. And they will come and provide some compliance assistance to help you guys. So listen to Yoga Wisi now.
Put that man on it. And to us, what we needed to do. Even the dressing room that was clear, he suggested I would change all of the flooring there and what have you. We went ahead and did all of that and started working on the go.
Well, if I were asking Yoga Wilson, I would say, but what did he see in that dressing room that caused it? That caused him to say change it? Because sometimes the flow can be a risk to somebody slipping and falling. You may have the right tire, but is the tire resistant to slip, trip, and fall that could cause injury to international player? Remember, those dressing rooms are not only limited to Liberian players alone. Liberia is the soccer stadium is an international soccer stadium. You got people. It's possible that one day Brazil, one day France will visit Liberia. And you don't want their top player then Mbappe then to go in that dressing room and go for that and sustain some injury. So when people are measuring their performance audit review, they're not doing it for Liberia only. They're doing it for international players, and that's what they call international standards. But the guy need to be oriented on these things. Or let's say the flow was not a a slip, trip, and fall risk, but was the flow maybe somehow and did the flow contain some sort of things maybe like more on the floor or a tire that is pouring through like not acceptable, he's not answering the question. And but I will ask him, well, why you think you said you're prepared to flow, right? But why did he say? Because if he said that if the calf guy said that the flow need to be replaced, he may have given a reason why that flow should be replaced. Because he's a senior guy, he knows. But Mr. Wilson was not fair in discussing that.
You all recall in September, we were supposed to come back to the inspector, but we told them, please do not come because we don't think our field is ready. Especially playing there at the beach. So that's why we have played our game in Ghana. And we started working with our soil scientists, our food agriculture.
So, I mean, what part of the world that you would tell an inspector that we're not ready, give her time to come, and they give you that slack? You should be lucky. You should be lucky. If somebody think about where you work. If the Occupational Health and Safety Administration or the DEA and the Drugs Enforcement Agency show up, or maybe the EPA show up, or maybe the Department of Homeland Security show up at your facility, and your director come and say, "Hey, my man, we're not ready yet. Gotta go come back." Can you imagine what will happen to your facility? The guy that came, Joker is telling you that, oh, the people said they'll come and say, we're not ready yet. All right, the people say, okay, we'll wait. When you're ready, let us know. And the people kind of, they want to complain. Please, man, listen again.
Ministry put in our all to get the seed to where it was big. If you were to look at the seed, when the cleaning page was approved for on August 2nd, so the seed right now as we see, we are speaking, the cleaning page is far better than at the time it was approved on the 2nd of August. So we then requested council to come back to now inspect the football field and the pitch for our game. In November, the 2 meetings begin, the inspector did his inspection. To the best of our knowledge, the inspector reported that our field was playable. Reported that our field was playable, but the decision was not a decision. The original committee chairman, Mr. Mohammed Sigan, who made the decision on clearing field to the agreement.
Now you see, this is very important, guys. And I know I'm dragging the thing on for you guys, but this is where the expertise meet the inexperienced people. All right, the guy who did the audit does not have an absolute saying over the audit report. Here's why: Liberia have been non-compliant for so many reasons and so many times. So the guy who conducted the audit, it was just a preliminary audit to gather the information he has, compare against the other. So if the guy who classified them that they were passed, I mean they passed, but he said they're going to go meet the committee, that means whatever words he gave them, it is not the final word. I mean final words. Because the fact that they got a committee that they got to go to, the committee got to sit down around the table and everybody got to come and say, okay, Liberia, yes. Liberia been having problem, we did this. What you got over there? And everybody discuss. It is a team decision. There are some people who will say no, they have to meet this condition. Or what is the score point? Because every audit that you conduct, there is a score attached to that. If you get 15 or this for the area, so the school system, they need to understand the school system. So God was not understand that process. That's why they need the experts of people. But the first thing I'm asking is the inspection they conducted, was it a point system? Or how many points were awarded to the field, the stadium, the dressing room? Because for everything you check, there will be a point system. See how you had a millennial challenge go. If you don't understand the point system, elaborate can I get a certain number, they fail the millennial challenge program. When you go out and conduct the audit, they give you point system. And they measure your points. After they look at the point, they look at the discussion. Because the librarian people, they get in that because they are looking there, then everything that.
And we ourselves, we were taken aback today when we received the communication from God. And you read the communication, God is started already with referencing the report. They are just telling you, all the other inspectors have done a good job so far, you got a job, but we will not approve the because we have concern with playing it. What
Yes, the people got right. See what you gotta understand because one guy who is a field inspector come and conduct the audit, That's why you see most of the time when we go out to audit, you don't immediately tell people that you pass. You don't do that. Any auditor who come to you and tell you say you pass, I mean, at the end of the closing of the audit, you can say, you know what, I think you guys did well. Unless that decision is up to you. If you are the guy who is going to write that final report, you can tell the people, say, yes, I think for what I'm seeing here is okay. But when you have to go and report to a committee, you don't have the final say, and you are encouraged not to give the people the hope. So technically, the guy who said, "Oh, you're okay," but he also said, "Oh, I'm going to take it to the people," he was wrong. According to what you got was saying, you don't give somebody hope that is wrong. All right.
Is this concern with playing games? We ourselves don't know. So the decision that was approved, us they were approved me today, we were thinking about we thought we have done our best on this stage. And to the best of our knowledge, the inspector was clear that our page was played. So that is the situation. And I want to provide all of the things we agreed to on a committee meeting. Those issues that were all identified that we should tackle, we have met all of them, including the playing page to the best of our knowledge. Because those were the areas. If you recall, CAF is not raising any issue with the team dressing room right now, with the mass commissioner room, with the official room, with the medical room, or even the media center. The only issue now is the playing page. And why they still have the issue of the playing page is like my especially the inspector team on the ground and saw the page, send them pictures of everything they did.
Yeah, but Sugar Wilson, one inspector is not the absolute decision maker. I think Yoga Wilson, you see, that's one of the reasons why when you're not an expert in certain area, you need to get professional people around you. Because what Yoga Wilson is explaining here, it could have been avoided a long time ago. Follow the regulations. Follow the regulations. Their failure is on that soccer field. He said the man came and Une said the grass is dying or the grass is dead, so that will make the fee ineligible to be used. And he's right. FIFA got a standard. Not because you get five correct and the six wrong, it means that you should pass. No. Every component within that assessment must meet every standard that is required. Not because you pass in full and with the fifth one you fail, that means that it's okay. No. Because there's something called liability. If that man or that committee say it's okay and something happened, some teams are not a Liberia soccer team. Some teams got big lawyers that understand the regulation that every country stadium should have in place. And should in case something bad happens, those teams lawyer will go after FIFA and they will be going after the regulation and standard. And guess what? They will be looking at as part of their legal action. What regulatory measure that Liberia met in order to have other teams come to play to Liberia. When you see the auditor then coming up with this idea, it means that they have gotten some sort of uh, backlash in the past and they don't want this thing to happen to them.
You still want to play it, it's still our imagination.
Well, so that means we play our remaining games in Ghana, and the government of Liberia, they're going to recommend to the president that the fee be closed, and why they put more resources into the fee. Well, Minister Wilson.
Well, if that is the case, that's true because it makes no sense to be wasting money here and there, patch the other hole here, and then the people come and say patch the other one here. So no. So because Joga Wilson dropped the ball in 2018, never focused on a robust audit or assessment or gap assessment of the stadium, they've been dragging on. You don't need to have the money to conduct that audit, the preliminary audit to determine the conditions. In fact, you should be conducting that early audit in order to determine what are the gaps and how you're going to fill in the gaps and look at the cost. If the cost very low because of the condition of the stadium, that's fine. But if you wait until the condition get worse and increase the cost, which they now face with, then the best thing to do is to shut the stadium down and Liberia got to go out there and play in different countries where they will play their home and away in different countries, which is a shame because the very countries in Africa that we're going to, they used to come to Liberia to survive, but now we're going back to them. And when they see all, they'll just say these are a bunch of serious guys. Their country been in existence since 1847. They are 174 years old. They have not done nothing much. Guys, thank you for the show. Jay Randy is out tomorrow, hopefully, depending on the time. I will be here. I'm tired and sleepy. I hope today has been a very fruitful day, and I want to bless God for you. Bringing you throughout the whole week. Thank you so much for everything. And all I can say now is thank you again on my show here. My voice is not meant to harm anybody. I'm just here to make sure that we understand why we are behind as a country and people. One, we had no standard of how we do things, whether it's the Liberia standard that meets international or universal standard. We had no guiding principles, no guideline of how we should do things. So we got a long way to go. So guys, thank you guys so much for everything. And Jay Randy is out of here. All right. Bye bye.